First of all, on behalf of the three of us, we would like to thank NAREA for the present of the video, because meanwhile we were revisiting the time together, because we were together, of course, at that time too. We also started to think how lucky we have been in our life because of the hard work we have been exposed to for the entire our life, and for really the fortune to have known Loris Malaguzzi and have grown up with him and worked very closely to him. So thank NAREA for this wonderful present. Please join me to dedicate an applause to them. Vea and I were hired almost the same period, early in the 70s. She was hired as atelierista at Diana School. Sì, ci stavo pensando. She was hired as an atelierista at Diana School, and instead I was hired as an assistant that at that time worked early in the morning and kind of late in the afternoon in a bus with the driver, picking the children up and dropping them off in the afternoon. Then from that position, I became, after almost 2 years, I became an assistant. At that time, we still had in our system, actually it lasted just a few years, we had assistant, and I got a promotion and I became an assistant, but the promotion implied that with Loris Malaguzzi I offered my availability to collaborate with him in the opening of schools in Reggio. That was a time in the 70s when 5, 6, 7 schools were opened almost simultaneously, and I collaborated with him. One of my last stops was at Diana School before becoming a teacher at La Villetta School. My first encounter, that meant also sharing work with Vea, was at Diana School. And when I arrived there, I was introduced by Loris Malaguzzi, who said, "You can make her do everything you want." Therefore, Vea took the advantage right away to put me inside the atelier and to ask me to make a variation of colors. At that time, we used as a material the color in powder. And I did many colors. At that time, we also had on lab coat that were white. And in general, my lab coat was kind of always a little bit dirty. But then Malaguzzi came to the school and my lab coat was very dirty. And also my hair were kind of blonde with all the colors around. Then Malaguzzi looked at me and then he goes like this, "What did you do?" And I said, "I make colors." And then Malaguzzi asked Vea, "What did you make to do? I mean, look at her." And she said, she made color. And look how many colors she has made. Now she goes home, she takes a shower, but meanwhile, tomorrow, I will have a lot of color to begin to explore with the children. See, the cart is full of color. That was the beginning of our relationships, I would say, and the way in which year by year we have been learning how to be good colleagues and good friends too. I think that there is a strong connection in terms of history, in terms of the roots of our experience, in terms of looking at the present as a resource, but always with a very strong attitude to project everything towards the future as soon as possible, ASAP, you would say. If I can match words with the Vea, these are the words I came up with. Wonder, amazement, aesthetic, learning, joy and joy of learning, curiosity, intelligence, creativity, sense of humor, responsibility, determination, perseverance, research, culture, and life. Quality, 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 and the deep sense of quality, just in case we forget about quality, because then it can happen that quality always run away. Sometimes and the quality can also run away from Monday to Wednesday, meaning that sometimes we decide something, an experience together, or we look at the experience together on Monday, and when we look at it back again on Wednesday, it's kind of already old. And there is the concern that we have lost already the quality. Then other words are change, evolution, and innovations. Many years ago, or even some years ago, we still thought, because she worked at Diana School, I worked at La Villetta School, she was an atelierista, I was a teacher. Between La Villetta School and Diana School, just because they were so different, really, really different, I think that the two of us were looking at each other with a little bit of suspect. We were a little bit suspicious, because we could be seen as a kind of strange animals. I quote the animals, but we are in a zoo, so it's fine. But I think that there was also a little bit of competition. She said no, of course. She didn't compete with me. Maybe I did compete with her. And I barely failed. I would say that I have always thought we were very different one from another. Instead, I would say that we have more similarities than differences in our own personalities. We can have conflicts, we can have disagreements, we can have a different point of view, but I would say that we like to go for it together, because there is a rigor, there is an integrity that belongs to our work, and there is a deep, profound respect for the Reggio Emilia experience. Sometimes I get a little bit mad when she is presenting something, because she keeps rushing up. She gets tired of herself, of hearing her own voice, meaning that she gets bored, but the others don't. But she gets bored, so therefore, because she knows what she's doing, that comes first. When I say the others don't, and then she said, yes, but if I do, then maybe I will communicate that. And then she starts running, because she thinks that because she is bored, you get bored too. Her thinking runs always faster than the other thinking, and she is always in front of you. I mean, you are thinking of it, and she's there. She doesn't want to be annoyed. She hates mediocrity. And if she sees just a weak shadow or shade of mediocrity, she gets so upset that you would not recognize her. The collaboration with her can be quite complex, also because never is enough. What we know, what we do, what we could have done, what we should have done, what we have to do. Nothing is never enough, because always we can offer more in order to do something with more quality. And then if we get content about something, that is really, really dangerous, because there is the risk to enter in a possible routine. And I would say that this was in the genes of Loris Malaguzzi, that Vea has definitely absorbed. But I would say that all of us, we have definitely absorbed in order to continue together a wonderful experience. Thank you very much.
So, on behalf of all of you and all of NAREA who aren't here, we would like to present Vea with first a present, which has maybe the color of NAREA that you can remember. And inside, from the United States, is a color we recognize.
In honor and recognition of Vea Vecchi, the North American Reggio Emilia Alliance hereby grants this Lifetime Achievement Award for her tireless passion, originality, intelligence, and accomplishment in service to children, families, educators, and communities in a spirit of hope for the future.
Naturalmente grazie.
Naturally, thank you.
E soprattutto grazie perché credo che
So thank you in particular because this recognizing my work in this way is also a recognition of the choice made in Reggio Emilia.
di avere
Because Reggio was able to bring in the poetic languages and art not only as something for museums or universities, but to see the value of the poetic language inside the everyday life of everyone, like as a need and therefore a right of our species.
L'altro grazie a tutti I colleghi.
Obviously, I need to thank all of my colleagues because without them my work would never have been done, and my colleagues in Reggio, but also my colleagues and associates abroad. And a third thank you, if you allow, to all of the people in the world, and there are many, many of them, who seek and give special consideration to beauty.
It
seems like when in a world in which there are so many bad things happening, starting from the poor countries, poor people, ashamed, destroyed element that we are going through, to speak about beauty seems to be offending all this.
Okay.
Malaguzzi in the video talking about the power of joy. And we have to have courage to talk about these things. And I think we all have to have the courage to talk about beauty, joy, and aesthetics, even though we are living in a world that's full of violence. Salvation will come precisely through these values. It's in the and I think that aesthetics together with ethics really do form a very strong defense against all of the violence that we have in the world, all of the imposition of will.
Grazie molto e grazie a tutti voi.
So thank you all.